Hello students, welcome back to Dr. Noor Firdaus Jahan channel. Here you are exploring the world of business with Dr. Noor. So today we are here to discuss about the part 2 of staffing, that is staffing process. In my previous video, we discussed about what do you mean by staffing, then why staffing is important, what are the features of staffing, correct? So those things we discussed in that, and what are the factors which influence staffing, we did in the last class. Today I am teaching a very important topic, that is staffing process, right? Next maybe 2 or 3 videos will deal only with staffing process, because each one of this topic we will be doing it in detail. So let us start with staffing process. But before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If not, please subscribe my channel, share my videos, correct? And like my videos and write comments in the videos. So please do that. With that, let me go ahead with the staffing process. Yes. So there are some way, correct? The total staffing starts from planning how many people you need for the organization and managing them till they leave the organization. So the whole process of how many people you need, the planning or acquiring them, getting people until they goes out, the entry of the people, correct, to the organization and exit. The whole thing is managed by staffing. For example, today you have joined some organization. So how did you join? First you see the advertisement in the newspaper, right? Then you apply, then they'll shortlist you, they'll arrange interview, then they'll give you offer letter, then you are going to join. And after joining there, you are not very happy about it, you'll resign immediately and you quit. So all these things is the cycle which is the part of staffing. So that is what I have written here, the staffing process. It's a continuous cycle. It starts from planning of the manpower, how many people I need, until this manpower leaves my organization and go. The whole process is what we call it as staffing process. The very first step in staffing, so this topic is called as staffing process. Our functions of staffing is one and the same. Our staffing cycle is one and the same. So the very first thing is manpower planning. Please write down MPP or HPP, it is called as manpower planning, where a company will decide how many people they need and how are they going to hire those people and how are correct and since how long these people are required and how you are going to manage with these people. Whole planning is done first. So as I told you, management is the first activity, let it be in any management, is planning. So here also manpower planning we do. Then based upon the manpower planning, I'm going to talk about the recruitment. I'm going to recruit people based upon the plan. If I need 100 people or 100 people, I have to recruit them. So that I'm going to do. So recruitment, then selection, then I'm going to place them, then I'm going to train them, remunerate them, performance evaluation, promotions and transfers. So 2, 4, 6, 8. There are 8 functions or 8 steps involved in staffing. One by one we will be discussing now. So manpower planning, let me take you to the first topic, manpower planning. Yes. What is manpower planning? So manpower planning is also called as manpower planning is also called as human resource planning. As I told you, you can call it as MPP or you can call it as HRP. So it consists of the basic activity of putting the right people in the right place, right? Putting the right people in the right place is what is called as the manpower planning or human resource planning. So wherein you are going to place the right people at the right place, at the right number, at the right kind of people, correct, doing the right things for which they are suited for the achievement of goals of the organization. So please understand that I am doing the very first step in staffing, that is manpower planning, which is also called as human resource planning. So what do you mean by manpower planning? Manpower planning is putting the right number of people, right kind of people. Both the things are important. Kind is quality, number is quantity. Both qualitative and quantitative matters here. At the right place, at the right time, doing the right thing for which they are suited for the achievement of the goal of the organization. So that is what we call it as manpower planning. I repeat, manpower planning consists of putting the right people correct, at right number of people, right kind of people, at the right place, right time, doing the right thing for which they're suited for achievement of goals of the organization. So that is what you have under manpower planning. So how manpower planning has to be done? It's very tough to do manpower planning. It's not that easy because let me give you an example. What happens is you have started your business. Just though you have started your business, you alone are doing everything. But since you are finding it tough to manage alone, you wanted to appoint some people. So if you appoint two people, then you have to pay two people's salary, right? Your cost will go up. If you appoint four people, you have to pay four people salary, your cost will still further go up. That is why the manpower planning tells you that how many people I need. Should I really need people or I can manage on my own? If the answer is I can manage on my own because I don't have money to pay salaries to them, my business has not grown to an extent where that much of cost I can bear, then definitely I can manage alone. But no, it is very difficult. Two people I can pay from my profit what I am getting, then I can appoint two people. So that is what is the manpower planning. First you have to decide, should I need people or not? If I need, how many? Correct? And what kind of people I want, what skills they should possess, and how am I going to recruit that? So steps in manpower planning, the first thing is analyze the current manpower. I told you, no, analyze the current manpower, whether I am enough alone I will take care or I need people. So it depends upon the type of organization. So what is the type? Large organization, a small organization. Large organization, more number of people are required. Small organization, one or two people will do. So analyzing the manpower depends upon the type of organization. The number of departments you have. More departments you have, more recruitment it will lead to. Less department you have, less number of people you need. The number and quantity of such department. So how many departments are there? Correct? And what is the size of those departments? How many people are needed approximately to function those departments? You have to think about that. Then employees in this work unit. And how many people are working there already? That you have to make a note of it. So when you are doing the manpower planning, the first step is analyze the current manpower. You analyze your current manpower. How to do that? First, talk about the type of organization, then talk about how many departments you have, then how many, correct, what is the quantity of the department and employees in this work unit. Once that is done, then go to the next step that we call it as making future manpower forecast. Now, see, I have now the first step I have done, I got to know that I have 10 departments, right? And in 10 departments, I have some 100 people working there. This I got to know. Then, what is the future where the 10 departments will do? And 100 people will do, or I need more departments, or I need more people, I have to assess. So the second step is making future manpower forecast. You have to make the future manpower forecast wherein you have to decide, so what are the plans of my organization? Is he planning to grow further? If yes, say any new departments are coming up? If yes, which department? And how many people they need? Whether I can manage with existing people or I have to appoint new people, so that I have to do it. How am I going to do that? I'll go and ask the top level management about their plan and analyze whether I need people or not. Or I may go to the expert forecast and ask them to forecast the manpower requirement and tell me whether people are required or not. Or I will do the trend analysis, correct, in the past 5 years, whether manpower have increased in my organization or not. Based on the pattern, I am going to decide whether I am going to appoint extra people for my organization or not. Then workload analysis. As I told you, more than 8 hours people cannot work. So if I have total 60 hours of work, then one individual, 5 days he will take to do. Correct? Or 6 days he will take to finish that job. But I want the job to be done in 2 days itself, then I need to have at least 2 people or 3 people to do it fast. So that is what is called as workload analysis. Then workforce analysis. Workload analysis is quantitative in nature. Quantitatively you are checking how many hours of manpower you need and how many hours is available. If I need additional manpower, then I have to recruit people. Then what is workforce analysis? Workforce analysis is qualitative phenomena where I am talking about the skill of the people I need to recruit. What is the skill? Whether these skilled people are already working in my organization or I am recruiting it for the first time. I should have clarity about the skill set and the quality of the people I need to recruit. So that is what is the fourth step I am going to follow in order to estimate the future manpower forecast. So steps in manpower planning, first one is analyze your current manpower. Then second one, make the future manpower forecast. Then once that is done, if there is a difference, current manpower is 100, but what I need is 150, then definitely I have to recruit 50 more people. Or my current manpower is 100, I need only 50 because I have purchased latest technology where I don't need much people. Now problem is I need 50 people, 100 are working. So my objective here is how to get rid of these 50 people, how to remove them from the job, how to send them home. It's very difficult. It's a very tough decision, but you cannot have more number of people working with you when you don't require it. So both are involved here. There may be a positive planning where you need people, or there may be a negative manpower planning where you have to reduce the number of people what you have. So based on this, maybe positive or negative, let it be any result, you have to take a decision whether you have to recruit people or you have to send people home. So that is what is called as the third step in manpower planning, that we call it as developing employment program. So I'll develop the employment program, if I need additional people, how am I going to get them, from where I am going to get them, how many people I need. So clearly I am going to write down, and accordingly, if at all I have people but they don't have a specific skill set, then what I'll do is I try to recruit people, correct? I'm going to decide on how am I going to recruit these people, right? Saying I don't want to recruit new people, I have to utilize the existing people only for my further job, then I should have clarity, how am I going to train them? So designing the training program. If I have to recruit them, employment program. I don't want to recruit, I already have excess people, but what they are doing is different, what they have to do is different, then I have to train them. So either you may design the train program. So in recruitment, human resource planning, these are the four steps you have. First one is analyze the current manpower. Second one, making the future manpower forecast. Third one, develop the employment program. Fourth one is design training program. So these are the four activities involved in manpower planning. Then why do you think manpower planning is important? Because it's very first function involved in staffing. Staffing is also called as human resource management. So the first function of HRM, that is human resource management, is human resource planning. The first step, the first function of staffing is your manpower planning. That is why it's very important. It's a key managerial function because it is only function which can streamline your manpower requirement. If you need additional manpower, it will tell you need additional, you can plan. And if you have already excess people, it will tell you how to get rid of them. Both the things are being guided by this function. So that is why the importance of manpower planning is very important because it is key to the managerial function. And I told you have excess people, it helps you to get rid of them. If you have shortage people, it helps you to get the people on roll. So it is efficient. Then motivation. It motivates people, right? It motivates people because you're going to train them and you're going to promote people here and you're going to train people, so that will increase the motivation level of the people. They feel happy being part of such organization where management takes care of employees. Then there is always a better human relations. The top level and the lower level employee, both these are being connected through HR manager or staffing manager. So it will have a better human relations. And very important is you are having the right people on board and you are appointing the right people for the right job at the right time. All these will increase the productivity. Your organization will become more productive if you have good manpower working in your organization. So that is why the manpower planning or human resource planning is considered as very prominent function in staffing and very first function of human resource management are staffing. And these are the importance of planning. But do you think it's very easy to do manpower planning? What do you think? if you just go to an organization where already they have 10 departments and 1000 people are working there, and you have been recruited as HR manager there, and you have been asked, today you have joined, please go and prepare a manpower plan and submit it to me. Do you think it's easy? No, it is not easy. It's very tough because 1000 people are there and 10 departments are there. You have to go to each department and check whether they have excess people, or they have shortage of people, how they are going on, how they are working, what problems they are facing. Lot of things you have to discuss there. So there are a lot of difficulties which are involved, and maybe these HR manager or maybe this department manager may not give you right data at the right time, and whatever decisions you take may not be always right. So a lot of difficulties are involved there here. So that is what the next topic what I am teaching you is obstacles in manpower planning. What are the obstacles in manpower planning? So obstacles in manpower planning is, I told you, some department they need only 50 people, but they have 70. So that is called an underutilization of manpower. They need only 70, but they have 100 people. So 30 people excess are there. That is called underutilization of manpower. That means the company can save the salaries of 30 people if they would have planned properly. They have not planned properly. That is why they are not utilizing the manpower, and what they are paying is much more than what they are supposed to pay. So that is called as underutilization of manpower. Then degree of absenteeism. If see most of the time what happens is you have 100 employees, we believe that we have 100, but every day 10 people are absent. Then available manpower is only 90 for you. You have to make provision for absenteeism also. People take leave. You can't ask them not to take leave, or you can't say you not have any emergency, you should be here only, gone the days. It's not going to happen like that. So that is why you have to think about the absenteeism. Then sometimes you have people, 100 people are there, but the skill what you need, you don't have. All of them are very good working manually. Now since we have done office automation, I want people to work on machinery. All these people don't know how to work on machines. So lack of education and skill labor. I have labor, but they are not skilled. So how to get rid of them? Can I replace them with new? Then these people will go on strike, and my company may have to close. I cannot send people home so easily. I should not be doing that, right? I have to retain my people. Then if they become useless, what I should do? I have to refresh them with a new training. I have to refresh them with a new skill so that they always remain important to me and I can utilize them, right? So lack of education and skill labor is one of the obstacles in manpower planning. Then manpower control and review. So it's very difficult to control manpower planning or to review manpower planning. For example, let me give an example: productivity, output divided by input. You get the productivity. But other than that, there are so many things which get influenced here. So identifying those reasons, it's a very tough here. Then employee productivity is total production divided by total number of employees. So what happens here is, see, total production and total employees is very good. But what has happened is some people have done extremely good job. Some people have done horrible job. They have not done only. So employee productivity looks good, but I see individual wise, then there are problems with such employees. So as a manpower planner, I should know all those, which is very tough to find out, but I have to do that. Then only I can go ahead with recruitment of further staff for my organization. So that is what we have under the first function of staffing, that we call it as manpower planning. Hope you are able to follow. So what is manpower planning, and what is the process we follow in manpower planning? What are the why this planning is important, and what are the obstacles in manpower planning? Yes. So see you in the next class. That's all I have today. Next class I'll be continuing with the next function of staffing, that is recruitment. Till then, take care. But please remember to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share my videos, and please comment. Correct? If you have to tell something to me, please comment on my videos. Okay, till then, take care.